What's going on, guys? Talon back here, and today we have another map layout for Battlefield 1. Sorry it's been a little bit of time since I've done another Battlefield video. Just been really crazy with the Dokkan news and everything, and I know you guys wanted me to cover that first, but as you guys all know, I love playing other games and I want to bring more variety to my channel, so here we are with another map layout. Now, Battlefield 1's been a little, I don't want to call it stale, but it's definitely not as lively, I would say. I personally love playing it still, but I have noticed a lot of people within the community are starting to get a little bored of it. So hopefully we get the, we have some new news with the first DLC coming out. I will cover that this upcoming week. I just need to get a little bit more info on it and have a little bit more time because work has just been a little crazy right now. But nonetheless, I want to get into the next map that I want to show you guys, kind of how I like to push upon it, how I like to use my teammates, what's the best route, what are the best flanks, and how to control the map in general. And the map I want to focus on today is Empire's Edge, personally one of my favorite maps. So I hope you guys can enjoy. I'm going to go over to the gameplay, or the spectator mode, I guess, of me jumping in and showing you guys. So I really hope you guys do enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. And let's head on over. Alright guys, we are in here at Empire's Edge, and we are going to start from the A side. I'm going to quickly go through the basics of how to get around the map, and then I really want to go over, though, what is the key to really holding this Conquest map here? What is the one flag, or maybe the two flags, that if you hold these, you can pretty much reign supreme throughout the entire match. So let's just get straight into this. So first off, if you're coming here from the left side of the map, technically, then if you come down here, you have a bunch of houses and everything up here, which are not really, you really don't have to worry about them, but do keep a note that you can destroy all of them. And snipers love to come up here, especially right in these houses and right over here if they get a shot, especially since it rains right down onto B over here, which is pretty nice. So, or if you are getting completely capped and you're trying to take your A flag right here, snipers can also really come up in here, use these rocks as a vantage point, and truly try to take the enemy out as fast as possible. But if we come down here, here's the A flag. It's pretty standard on how to take care of it. The capture zone is going to be around in here, or if you want to get up here, you can. If you go underneath, you can take control of this turret, and this turret here is actually really good for taking out the Dreadnought if it comes by here, especially if the Dreadnought's oblivious to what's going on, because you can have the boats that will come along the water here and try to take him out as fast as possible. So do keep an eye out for that. Coming down into here, if I'm able to, it's a little fast here, but yeah, you can come down here. This is how you're going to enter the turret, which is right here, and there's not much in here, but you can play some ring around the rosy here with your opponents. If you come out here, and if I want to spin it around here, you can basically come in here, and if an opponent tries to sneak around here, you can bait them into coming into here. Have one of your teammates come around the outside, and boom, you quarter them straight in together, and it's pretty easy to take them out. So not too hard there. After you've gained position here, do not forget that you can also use the boats coming over from your deployment, and if you want to make a quick escape or even come up here to try and take some of these points up here, you can, but usually the boats are going to be used to go ahead and take E here and to go around over the G, which I'll get to in a minute. So first off, if you take A, then we're going to come over here to B. And B is right over here in this vicinity right here. So not too much difficulty taking B here. However, all of these houses, all of these buildings here can be destroyed. You get a tank coming in here. You have the Dreadnought firing out off its mortars. You even got the hill cannon over here. If you captured A and you get a good angle on it, you can destroy all these buildings in here. A lot of people like to come over to these houses here, kind of pick people off if possible, and then they can come in here and take this objective right here. Now, do keep in mind, however, that because everything can be destroyed, everyone kind of knows this already. Since we know everything can be destroyed, people will bring tanks in, and they know the first thing they want to do at the moment they see that somebody's on the point, they're just going to start firing off canister shells like no tomorrow from the tanks. They're going to be using bombers to help them out there. If you have an AT rocket gun, if you're an assault, you're going to start firing at these, and all of a sudden your cover is all but gone. So do make sure that you keep an eye out for your opponents, or if you are on the defensive here, try not to get caught up in one little corner. Now, there are times, however, I notice that whether I have a tank or an AT rocket gun, and I fire a shot at some of these walls, sometimes they will not come down, even though I do know they can be destroyed in the end. So the best way that I personally like to do it is if, for example, if I come around on this side of this house, I usually fire about here, or I try to hit the roof. If you can get the roof to collapse onto your opponents, that is always really, really nice. You get that nice little rebel kill, and you get to see, even if you don't kill them, you get to see exactly where they are, because that's only a certain amount of the roof. You're not destroying the whole roof at once. You're going to have to take a couple shots in order to take the roof out. So make sure you're able to do that, and then you're going to be able to pinpoint your enemies pretty easily. Now, you can also play some, Ring Around the Rosie if you are trying to defend this point. If you have 3, of your teammates on there with you and there's only 1 tank and someone can help take it out, or you're waiting for your teammate to spawn on you with an AT rocket gun to help take it out, then what you can do is you can have one person stay in this part of the house because they do connect right here. You can have one person here, and maybe if you even have one person over here, then that kind of splits it up and you can definitely take the tanks out fast and possible. Just remember though that your cover will be blown the moment you let them know where you are, and if they're a decent tank driver, they're going to start shooting the roofs here, parts of the roof here, and your cover's all but gone and you're going to be dead no matter what. Okay, so that's kind of how I approach B. Now the one thing to taking B here is that if you are definitely getting capped, if your enemies control every other point around here and you only have A and B, snipers love to come up into here, and they love to come up to these hills here. This is sniper's paradise right here. If you're able to get around the backside here and knife them all, or just take them out as fast as you can, that benefits you no matter what. But if you have enemy snipers up here, it is very, very hard to try and get up into these later points here. So definitely make sure you control this hill. If you can control this hill, then you can kind of just rain down fire. I get plenty of assault players, I get plenty of snipers that will come up here sometimes and you try to fire it down. And if they can provide cover for you, then it's a lot easier to take these points than if you're simply just running up here from B, running up here and thinking, oh, I'm all safe. Then all of a sudden, bam, bam, pot shot like no tomorrow. It can get really, really annoying. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If you're over here, if you're trying to run up from B here and you're going up to D here, if these guys don't provide much. You might get a lucky shot here or there, or you're just going to be like, oh, really? Did I just get, pinpointed by that little sniper right there? Yes, that is the unfortunate case. It's happened to me quite a few times, but nonetheless, it is not too hard. So just keep an eye out for this hill up here. Now, if you're coming again from B and we want to go take C, since C is a little bit closer than D, here is the point for C. Not too bad here. These walls here can be somewhat destroyed. The bottom parts cannot, but do keep in mind that people know that snipers love to come up here, or if you get an AT rocket gun up here, it's pretty nice, or maybe if you get the crossbows as a support player, you can rain down a little bit of grenade spam onto either infantry or onto tanks or other armored vehicles, so do keep that in mind. Speaking of armored vehicles, coming back up to this hill here, some people love to take the artillery trucks and they can just rain fire down either onto C here or spin around back here to B. So do keep an eye out for artillery trucks. I get killed by them plenty of times, so definitely keep an eye on that, and it is very, very useful to make sure that you, once again, have that hill, or if you have your own artillery truck up there, then by all means, go for it. You will have no problem capturing C here. Bombers love to come flying around here. Always see bombers coming in. They fly around. They do a strafing run. Boom. It's pretty clustered and everything, so you definitely got to keep an eye out for that. If you want to, you can also use the field cannons here to try and rain down fire onto B here if you're trying to go towards B and A. If you're trying to go towards F and G, then you can use the cannon. Just know, though, you're not exactly that well protected. There's not a lot of walls around you and everything like that. In terms of anything else, you can climb up here if you want to. Like I said, it is some great cover. Just know that people love to also go up there, and they know that people like to go up there, so they'll fire off a grenade, they'll chuck a grenade up there, an anti-tank, whatever you have, and they will try to hit you. So I've gotten plenty of kills just by lobbing a grenade up there, hitting it with a rocket, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, this right here can collapse. I have seen people get hit. I've fired a rocket up there and it's gotten a little bit of damage, where essentially I know rubble is falling on them. It won't kill them, but it definitely damages them. Sometimes you get the kill, but nonetheless, do keep an eye out for that, or it's just simply the walls are coming down on them as well. So do test that out if you want to. Next, we're going to come over here to D. D can all of this in here can be destroyed on D, and a lot of these can be destroyed as well. This part of the castle right here can be destroyed by the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought mortars, they can destroy almost pretty much anything on this point and on this map itself. You can get usually normal AT rockets to take out maybe bits of the wall on these weaker joints here, but if you have Dreadnought, fire upon these. You know people are going to be hiding up here, and it can definitely help. Now, people obviously can't get up into these higher areas, but you can collapse these on top of them. I've gotten killed like that by that a couple of times, so definitely keep an eye out for that if you have to do that itself. The radius of the flag is pretty big. It covers along this entire part here, so if you roll a tank up here, you can start destroying these little walls, but do keep in mind, if you get onto the point and it says you're not capturing it, chances are you have people around the outside. People also love to come into these little towers here and rain some fire down on people who are trying to take the flag, and you definitely need to keep an eye out for that. And of course, if they have E and they come across the bridge here and they come up the hill, people love coming up in here. I do it all the time. I'll come down from E and I'll come up here onto D via here, kind of peek my head over the corner, chuck a grenade over here. I have someone who throw a gas grenade or a smoke grenade. You can just kind of flush some people out, and it's pretty easy to get them in there. And people also like to flank around. If most of your teammates are coming up here where the arrow is currently pointing, they'll come down this way. Up the hill. They'll come into the castle here or around the outside, which is always very helpful. And then, especially if it's not destroyed by the dreadnought, and then they'll try to pick people off if people are focusing right up here on this main part coming up from E. So do make sure you keep an eye out for that. Now, in terms of E down here, E can be hit or miss depending on what's going on. And apparently, Zerni and a lot of people are getting banned even though there's no one in here. So, yeah, that's always fun. But anyway, E. E is definitely a special point here. You can take the boats from either this deployment over here or the opposite deployment, and people love to bring the boats, ride them right up onto the beach, and you want to come in to take the flag as fast as possible. You do have a couple of field cannons up here, which are pretty helpful for taking out boats that come this way. Not ideal, but if the boat driver's not that good, you can definitely just get a pot shot the moment he stops the boat. But do keep in mind that the boats do have cannon themselves, and you also have anti-air gun right here, which is always very helpful, so do keep that in mind. So, oops, and I want to go backwards. Now, E is debatable if it is the point that you want to keep the most. If you have E, then it's pretty easy to come up here and take a D. However, I will say that I do disagree sometimes depending on the team that you are with. If your team is getting steamrolled like no tomorrow and you simply take E, great. You have a point and you have another spot to spawn, but it means nothing unless you're able to get across this bridge and really push up and take this D point up here. If you can capture both E and D, those are going to be the two biggest points for you, me personally, in my opinion, for you to take, because if you can hold those, then you're pretty good to go. Especially if you hold D, you can come up again into this field cannon here. If you can access it via the little catacombs down here, you can grab this cannon, and you can fire down onto here to destroy this kind of tower. It was broken tower already, and you can hit the field cannons here and the anti-air gun if you've destroyed this. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, the turn radius on this cannon is not exactly the greatest. You cannot just pivot around this entire thing and start shooting up onto these towers here. So they make it purposefully that you are only going to be focusing on the E point or the dreadnought when it eventually comes out, if the match is that close. So, but there is another field one, so if you are coming from the other side, definitely keep in mind that you have this cannon here, and you also have a couple of field cannons. This side has a field cannon and it has another anti-air, whereas this side only has the anti-air and one field cannon, so not as many. So definitely keep an eye on that. Now, obviously, we don't use the field cannons all the time, but nonetheless, if you have nothing else, say you're a medic or a sniper, but you have a chance to take someone out or take a boat out or something like that, definitely jump in, try to take it out if you can. It definitely helps a lot, okay? So again, capturing E is very, very important, but if you're getting steamrolled, it's not exactly the best one. I would actually personally, myself, if I am getting completely steamrolled, I would take a boat, drop a couple people off at E to distract the enemy, but then I would personally go around all the way over to G, and I will concentrate on G here in just a minute. But it really all just depends on your team in the end. Are you guys communicating? Are you not? Are you able to flank on the enemy a bunch? Are you able to take care of the snipers up in the hill here? That all comes down to your strategy and if you're truly communicating with your team or not, or if your team is, half competent, because sometimes we do go into those matches and everyone's just kind of going kill destries here and not really focusing on the points, even though capturing the points give you the most points. You easily get about 500 points or so when capturing a flag. Definitely go for it, because it definitely can put you at the top of the scoreboard. All right, so if you've captured E, you've captured everything else, and you only have two flags left, and then we come over here to F. F is a lot like B that I mentioned beforehand, but it's, you know, it's pretty much the same, actually, the more I think about it, because it is basically just 2 buildings again. It's got this little shack here. The only thing it's missing is the long barn here, but essentially I like to roll a flag up on it, or no, yeah, I like to roll a flag up in here. I like to roll a tank up onto here, and I can just basically destroy all of the sides of the buildings. I collapse the roofs on my enemies, and all of a sudden they are left with nothing, and I get a couple of teammates that can go in there with a couple of SMGs, and boom, Bob's your uncle. You're able to go in and take them all out. So not too hard of a point, but people do like to hide in the rubble because it does not collapse 100% technically, but nonetheless, if you go in there, just be careful. You also have what looks like a cannon here, which you can use. I guess you can use it to kind of fire up on the hill because a lot of snipers and medics here with their rifles will kind of hide behind the rocks and, you know, take pot shots at you. Or if you're going up, you can use the rocks yourselves. People love throwing grenades over the rocks and trying to get a nice little grenade kill. But nonetheless, it's not ideal. But nonetheless, if again you had to, by all means go for it. And then finally, if we want to come around here, we've got G. Now G, oh god, I've had iffy times with G, and I've had some real pain in the butt times with G. So G obviously is your gimme flag if you're coming from this side of here. It's not too hard. Just kind of roll up, go into the point here, but the radius of the flag, it's not very big. It's only about here, give or take. You have to be within here. You can't be up here trying to take the flag. You can't be in here. I get a lot of people that will come in here. If they're coming from the opposite side, from A over here, they will try to bunker themselves into this facility here. They'll get up here. They'll start taking pot shots and everything. Sometimes they even take control of the cannon over here, which you can, and it helps against the dreadnought. If the dreadnought pushes up too much from coming over here, it does help quite a bit. But the only thing I don't know is if the dreadnought can actually destroy this. I don't think it can, but then again, I could be wrong. I just never seen somebody do that before, because usually when the dreadnought comes out, it has to deal with all the boats and everything. So, although if you have run the boats over with the dreadnought, please let me know that in the comments below. That's actually pretty cool. So, but yeah, so G definitely has a little bit more of a fortress thing here. You can actually run a tank if you're good enough, or even a armored car, and you can park it right in here to totally just block this entrance off, and you know that everyone's gonna be coming around here, and then just pick them off one at a time if they decide to do that. So do keep that in mind. This door here can definitely be a little bit of a pain sometimes, and then you can actually peek through here, these little gouges here, and you can actually take people out if they're coming up here. It's kind of like, you know, an actual castle. Defend the castle! We must defend here. So, or we've even got these cannon up here, which is pretty nice. So do take advantage of that if possible. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much the map itself. It is very wide. You can't really go like out here or anything, but you can come up around here on these hills. People love to hide behind all these rocks. Use the rocks to your advantage when you're trying to take certain points and push up with you and only a couple of the teammates. If you have a tank and some other heavy armored vehicles or something like that, or you've got a dreadnought backing you up, then you don't really need to worry about it too much. You can just like run up to the rock here, quickly go over here, go up, and then boom, Bob's your uncle again. So not too bad there, but definitely just keep in mind with those rocks, all of this can be destroyed. All of these houses, keep in mind, people love to go up into the towers. They love to go up into the second story. So just keep that in mind. If you're getting hit and pelted from rockets and everything, or even sniper fire, do keep in mind that is where they can be. And always, always, always try to keep this hill if possible. Snipers love to come up here. This is sniper's paradise. I will always come around here, take the long way if I have to. Come up here, try to knife these snipers up here, or just get some pot shots down here, and then you're pretty much good to go. One thing that I did forget to mention though before I sign off here is do keep an eye out for the weather system on this map, and especially the fog. The fog can get really annoying, and I wish they would dim it down just a bit on all the maps personally. But this map, if it gets really foggy, it is really hard to hit, and especially if you have snipers up here, once again, they will just take pot shots at you, and I swear they see you like no tomorrow, yet you can never see them yourself. So, you know, it's just something to kind of look out for. So definitely keep in mind that. This is definitely one of my favorite maps. It's got great layout. It's nice and big. It's got close quarter infantry for those of you who like it. Along some of the points, it's got vehicles on it. It's got boats. It's got the whole 9 yards. So I personally love using it, and I really hope you guys enjoy it too. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for my map layout of Empire's Edge. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you liked it, please leave a like down below and leave your comments about what map you want to see next. I've got more Battlefield stuff coming. Dokkan news is just a lot crazy this past couple weeks, so I had to cover that first because that is what most of you come to. But I do, like I said before, want to start branching out even more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and do not forget to subscribe if you are new, and let me know what kind of other Battlefield stuff you want to do. I want to be doing a loadout challenge this upcoming week, so hopefully we can see that as of the 22nd now, if I'm looking at my clock correctly. So yeah, in January. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for the video, as I said before, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.